Good morning, hope you're well. How's it doing? Alright. So, excuse me, so there it is. That's the Revell Level 5 Tornado GR4 Farewell offering, and it's done in a Whitetail 1989 RAF Bruggen scheme. Okay, alright then, Mark, so what's the deal with the Whitetail? So we've got a builder down at Club Jean, and she's building a Tornado, and it's an Italieri 1 in 48. And when I had a look at the side of the box, there's different schemes on that particular kit, and I've seen that scheme. I'll pop a picture up for you. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh my god, I've got to do that. So go with the rest of my builds. It just looks so unique. So I've asked her for decals, and she's gladly obliged, and that's what you see in front of you. Okay, so what's the deal with the Whitetail then? There were a couple of different choices that the RAF did around between 1983, I do believe, I'm not 100% accurate, but basically between 83 and I suppose late 80s, early 90s, the RAF over there in West Germany, they had quite a few near misses and accidents with Tornadoes, especially with the green and greys, because the camouflage was so good against the wooded areas that they kept crashing and near misses. So they decided to paint some of the tails white, and they decided to paint some of the tails in a cherry red. And as soon as I saw the white version, I thought I've got to have that to add that to my collection. So I'm not going to labour on about the build of this particular kit. If you want to see people like myself building the kit step by step, there's loads of videos on YouTube. I've done step by step, and Nathan's done one, Plasmo's done one, Greg's done one. There's loads of people have done one. Okay, the one thing that you will notice though about the build sequence is that it's done in a different way to the book. All right. The book tells you to do what, you know, in stages, and we don't build Tornadoes following the guidelines. We build it in a much easier way, and that's all to do with the air intake area and the general sort of build, if you will. Okay. A couple of areas that I just wanted to chat about really on this particular video. One of them is where the wing glove is, where the wing sweeps in. One is the flaps, and one is the buckets. So we'll start. I'm going to get my little paintbrush out, alright, just so that I can use this as a pointing stick. So the first area that I'm going to point out is inside the glove there, alright, and the reason that I'm saying that is because on a Tornado, obviously, where the wing sweeps in, there's a void, a gap, and if it's not filled in, it can look a little bit sort of, well, what's sort of supposed to go in there. Obviously, on a real aircraft, it's a material that protects the inside of the bird and all the delicate electronics and mechanics, and I wanted to fill that in. Now, I did try it on the 32 Tornado that I built successfully, and I wanted to see if I could scale that down. So I tried it with a piece of blue latex glove, which worked adequately, but when I looked at it, it weren't thick enough. So I had to sort of come up with another idea, and the idea that I got was a piece of black bicycle wheel inner tube, and again I'm going to pop some pictures up here in top corner in my usual place. Up here, look, up here. Alright, okay, so a little bit of inner tube. Did it work? It did. Would I do it again? No. Oh, why not? Do you know why? I'll tell you why. It doesn't need it. On this scale, it does not need it. Alright, there is a little gap there, but it just don't need anything that fits inside. All right, okay, so no, I wouldn't do that again. It's pointless on this scale. Second point that I want to talk about is this area again, that area right in that corner there, and on this flap, right, there is some more plastic that you can't see there, and if you go wings even slightly swept, that little bit of plastic, you've got to trim it off. All right, I must say that, because if you go wings fully out in the out position, you can leave it on, but if you go flaps down and then want to put your wings in even ever so slightly, you've got to trim that off. It's no secret, okay, just so that you know. And then the next part that I wanted to chat about was this particular part here, because on this Revell kit you do get option to put your buckets in a closed position, fully retracted, and you do get option to put buckets in an open position, which is deployed. And I've been looking at this kit, and I wanted to actually do buckets in a sort of opening deploying position, so they've come from being seated into a sort of, you know, position where they are being closed. All right, and I'm going to pop some pictures up about that. How did I do it? I had to get the assembly part, which is the bucket strut. And when I looked at it, and it took me 2 days to be absolutely fair, it were a matter of, right, there's sort of 2 struts, and I'm going to put my hand in now. There's 2 struts and they're like that. And how do you do that? So basically what I did was I cut this one, I cut it off, and then I attached another strut up like that, so it was more open. All right, but with the pictures that I pop up, hopefully you'll be able to see that. Would I do that again? Probably not, because I've done it now. Even though I've only done one, well, would I do the pair? I'm not going to say. Would I do it once I do it? It depends on how much time I've got. All right, when I come to build my next kit. What I've found personally is that I've got a time tolerance level on building kits, and it works out, it must be about 40 hours, which is a long time, I suppose, really, when you break it down into days and weeks, and it's an hour here, it's an hour there, maybe sort of twice a week, 3 times a week. You know, those 40 hours sort of very, very quickly diminish. And that is the other reason that I'm a backwards builder. Backwards builder in that I have 2 tubs. Once I've started building things, I pop them into tub number 1. So I always start with the armament, and I build it all, sand the seams, get the fins on, get everything sorted, and it's just bare plastic in a built state. I start with the armament and the fuel tanks and stuff like that, and then I'll toss them into bin number 1. Then I'll do sort of undercarriage and get the legs done. Then I'll do the buckets. Then I will build the flaps and get them built. Then I'm on to the main fin, the rear fin, the stabilizer and the rudder housing, and I'll get that built. And get the side antennas on. Then I'll do the buckets and put them. So basically what I'm doing is I'm building sub-assemblies. Once I've got all those sub-assemblies done, then what I do is I go back into that tub and I'll take like the fuel tanks out and I'll prime them and pre-shade, mottle, paint, gloss, decal, matte coat, everything finished state, and then they come out of bin sort of tub number 1, and they go into tub number 2, and they're done then. They're absolutely finished. Same for the boss pod, same for the chaff. Same for undercarriage and flaps and absolutely everything. So over the course of while I'm building the aircraft, the main frame of the aircraft, tub number 1 starts emptying, and tub number 2 starts filling up. And before you know it, tub number 2 is full, and that's full of built parts that are finished completely. And at the same time, I'm building the kit. Once I've started building the kit, I'll do the office, and then it's literally just a matter of putting the actual airframe together and making sure that that's all okay, sanding seams and adding attachments, one thing or another. Once that's done, then that is primed, pre-shaded, modelled, painted, glossed, deckled, glossed again, matte coat, a little bit of weathering, etc., etc. Then once that's done, I've got a tub that's already filled with all the other attachments like buckets and stabilizers, fuel tanks, pylons, weapon systems, undercarriage, absolutely everything. And then it's literally just a matter of attaching them on. And me and Paul Radcliffe at Liverpool, we chat about that. Okay, and that's the way that I prefer to build. The reason that I do that is because if I do it the other way and spend sort of 30 hours building the actual kit and getting that to a finished state, once I come round to building armament and undercarriage and one thing or another, I'm losing patience. I don't start messing it up. It's more, it turns from a nice hobby into something that I have to do, and it just don't work for me. So backwards builder is the way for me. All right. While I'm chatting, I'm going to be popping pictures up of the sort of the build sequence that I've done. Myself, I build tornadoes, and I know that Nathan has done a couple, 1 or 2, and Plasmo's done them, and who else has done them? Greg's done them as well. And what you'll notice is that we just do not follow the build sequence. The build sequence that Revell have put out in the brochure is all right, and the tornado will go together all right if you follow the build sequence. But doing it the way that we do it, it just makes it a little bit sort of more easier to digest, if you will. Okay. Not a long video, isn't this one? I'm not going to labour on about the actual build. There's loads of videos on about that. All right. So a shout out while I'm here. Ev in Wales, he's set up Red Dragon modelers. So if you're in that neck of the woods, North Wales, Anglesey, Bangor, that sort of area, then a really, really good friend of mine. He's starting a club up down there. What he's trying to do is trying to change it from a Facebook group to an actual meeting club. So again, if you're down that neck of the woods, Anglesey, Bangor, definitely get in touch. Have a look on Facebook and have a look on Google. It's the Red Dragon Modelers. I'm not even going to attempt to say it in Welsh. Definitely not. Okay, I wouldn't sort of insult the Welsh by attempting that. All right. And then the next one, there's a chap in Texas, Zach. I sort of stumbled across his videos, and he goes under the name of ZTE Works. Such an informative guy on his builds and what he's done. He's not made many videos, but the tank building videos that he's made especially are just absolutely fantastic. He knows where every shovel goes. He knows the caliber of every gun. He knows when that gun was put onto that tank, what year it was put on, and everything. But his dialogue on his videos is just so light entertainment. It's fantastic. And Zach, I hope you're well, mate. And I end up watching those videos sort of over and over if I want a little bit of light relief, if you will, from what can be an intensive hobby. It can be, all right, because if you're constantly striving to be better than your last build, it can get quite intense, all right. So those two, so Red Dragon Modelers in Wales, and I implore you to find ZTE Works on YouTube and watch Zach's tank builds. They are so enlightening. Such a great character. That will do for this particular build. Like I say, if you want to have a look at how the kit actually goes together, there's a load of videos on YouTube, mine included. You can find them. You can find them. All right. Other than that, usual message of staying safe and taking care of everybody around you. COVID restrictions are being massively lifted, and you know, all the mask wearing is subsiding now. It certainly doesn't mean that COVID-19 is going away, but you know, we'll try and beat it, won't we? All right, so stay safe, take care. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate the people that watch it. When I sort of flick onto my stats, if you will, and it says, yeah, you know, 30 people have watched this video, and you think, bloody hell, that's amazing. I can't believe it. You know, and the builders that build for a living, when you're talking about 80,000 views and 100,000 views, it's, oh my word. Obviously, I pale into comparison with that. All right, but it's still fun. It's still fun to make the videos and share them with guys that want to watch. All right. So, like I said, stay safe, take care, and see you next time. Cheers.